today. Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
Imagine you break up with your boyfriend one night and the next day he is posted up with Ice Spice and Chrome Heart. I didn't even actually get to break up with him and he's already with the next girl.
If he's cheating, I'm doing him worse. No Uno, I hit the reverse. I ain't tripping the grip in my purse. I don't care, cause he did it first.
Manon's hiatus was only supposed to last for 2 months, and she was supposed to be in the Pinky Up video, but she found out the same way we did. And before you start, walk with me here. We all know Pinky Up came out right before Coachella on April 9th, but months before Pinky Up came up, they went on Jimmy Fallon to promote Pinky Up. Well, they more teased it on Jimmy Fallon. Ibex Geffen announced Manon's hiatus on February 20th, and on the same day, an interview came out with Manon where all the girls are just looking very sad.
We all come from different places. We all look so different. I think as the time...
If you look at their outfits closely, and I'm sure you've all seen the dance practice video that leaked, that was filmed the same day that the Pinky Up dance practice video was filmed. That in order for this interview to come out on the same day of her hiatus, the dance practice was probably filmed on the 18th or the 19th. And at this point, why would they have Manon on this long of a hiatus if she wasn't meant to be in the video? They would have filmed that without her if that was the case. From what we know now from all the leaks and the rumors going on, the day that interview happened, Manon found out she was going on hiatus. But while this is all happening, mind you, Manon still has KATSEYE in her Instagram bio, so we're like, okay, she'll probably be in the video. On March 27th, the dance video leaks, the one that was filmed the same day they found out about the hiatus. And then the Pinky Up video was filmed on February 22nd. Just 2 days after we find out about Manon's hiatus, but 4 or 5 days after the girls figure it out. And the girls are filming this music video without Manon even knowing. And then the teasers drop and Manon sees that they filmed a video behind her back, and that's why she removes KATSEYE out of her Instagram bio. I truly believe that if Manon knew she was going to be on hiatus this long, she would have just kept it in her bio. The label going behind her back and filming this whole video made her feel like, okay, well, I guess I'm not in KATSEYE anymore. I'll continue the mistreatment of Manon's series soon, but this all just came to my attention and I had to talk about it.
Not only joined KATSEYE because she wanted to be famous, okay, and the other girls didn't? Like, what? You mean to tell me that none of the girls who auditioned for KATSEYE, who did the whole Dream Academy, who did the months and months and months of training and singing and dancing and visuals, all of that, hoping to be part of this global girl group, you're telling me that none of them wanted to be famous except for Manon? You've got to be shitting me. Like, really? No, you're upset that for the past 5 months that Manon has been on this forced hiatus, that she is still getting gigs, she is still getting work. She's doing collaborations, she's doing brand deals, she's doing modeling, she's meeting with celebrities and artists. She got to be on the Coachella stage, even though she didn't perform with KATSEYE, she was invited to be up there. She's on Bad Bunny's stage in France. Now, a lot of you guys wanted her to fuck off into oblivion, but she said no. And also, other people said no, because people like her. That's what made KATSEYE so interesting and appealing. She was the visual. And now that the visual has left, not a lot of people are really interested in KATSEYE anymore, myself included, and y'all are mad at that. But because of your fucking anti-blackness, you want to say, well, no, she only did it for the fame. She's greedy, she's selfish, she's lazy, she doesn't want to be in the group. She has said multiple times that she is healthy. This hiatus is not for health reasons. She is being punished. This is not like normal hiatuses, and I don't claim to be a super K-pop fan, but from my knowledge, other idols, in K-pop or whatever groups that were on hiatuses, they were still mentioned by the other members. They were still mentioned by the company. Their vocals have not been cut out in songs. Their parts have not been cut out in music videos. Their other members could still talk about them and not treat them like he who shall not be named. Oh, but it's part of their contracts. They can't talk to each other or comment on each other's posts and da-da. Yeah, and you don't see that's a fucking problem? Why are you guys defending this company? What kind of fuck-ass contract says that you can't talk to your other members in the group, that you can't comment happy birthday on their Instagram post? Like, what the fuck? All signs point to the company hates Manon, and they're forcing the other girls to not talk to her or associate with her. They're trying to single her out and punish her. And we don't know the full details. We may not know soon. We may not know ever. Who knows? It's none of our business. But I have a couple of theories. One, Manon refusing to break her fucking bones and sacrifice her entire health for singing and dancing on stage, because as we know, Hybe and Geffen like to work their fucking idols to the bone. Like, you guys genuinely love when your favorite idols pass out on stage, when they're so fatigued, when they say they haven't eaten in hours, or they rehearse for several hours a day and they only get a few nights of sleep. You guys are not normal. You don't see that and think, this is so fucked up. I love these idols beyond because they're talented at singing and dancing. I love who they represent. I love them as people. Please stop treating them like that and treat them like normal people. Give them normal fucking working hours. Give them normal conditions. No, you guys like that because you don't view them as humans, and it's fucking sick. And Manon was like one of the few members of KATSEYE that was talking against that, pushing against this toxic work culture. I thought we all liked that, but no, you guys didn't like that. So I think that's one theory. And the second theory is because she went to that benefit concert that was supporting Palestine and Sudan. Remember that clip where she said free Palestine, you know, to the paparazzi? Yeah, you know that Hybe and Geffen are ran by Zionists? They didn't like that. I know they didn't like that. That happened in January. And then in February, she was put on the forced hiatus. So yeah, the timing, and spare me the whole everyone follows Eye on Palestine on Instagram though. Wow. Great fucking accomplishment. You follow an Instagram page that says Palestine on there. Okay. And Manon went to a benefit concert that was raising funds for Palestine and Sudan. You know, things that can actually help the people in those nations and not just following an Instagram page. You guys are fucking weird. You can't come to terms that KATSEYE is fucking boring without Manon. And ever since Manon was forced to be on this hiatus, we all checked out of the group. They're boring. The visual is gone. The personality is gone. You've heard of rainbow capitalism before? This is all just fucking diversity capitalism. It was all diversity capitalism the whole time. And now they got rid of their black girl because they didn't want her anymore. And now they're paying the price because no one gives a fuck about them anymore. But everyone gives a fuck about Manon.
Sometimes it don't be six.
We just want to give her all the space.
No. Because when someone pisses me off, it lingers. Because, like, I can't just brush that off.
I am still on my break as I wait for my new tarot cards to come, but we got to do a reading today. I got a few questions on Tumblr, and I will be answering them in my own today. Please go follow my Tumblr to get some quick readings on things and some that won't be posted on YouTube. Remember, this is all allegations and for entertainment purposes only. Does Manon knows and reads about the KATSEYE snark page on Reddit? The short answer: yes, she is aware of it. The Hermit reversed and the Magician reversed. Sitting right at the top of the spread, this combination indicates that the protective bubble of privacy has been breached. The Hermit reversed means that external noise and outside internet chatter have leaked into her awareness, likely because someone else brought it to her attention or sent her a screenshot. The Magician reversed. This card perfectly embodies the energy of a snark page. It represents smoke and mirrors, manipulated narratives, and people using words maliciously behind a screen. She knows the page exists and recognizes it as a hub of toxic, distorted illusions. The Eight of Wands reversed represents putting up a hard digital boundary and halting the influx of incoming information. She is actively choosing not to feed into the frantic, rapid-fire pace of online gossip. The Seven of Cups reversed shows someone cutting through a cloud of illusions and mixed opinions to ground themselves in reality. She has no desire to drown in a sea of internet projections. The Four of Cups reversed shows her actively rejecting the toxic cup of gossip being offered by the internet. She is turning her attention away from the stagnation of online hate. The cards don't deny that the snark page is nasty. They show a breeding ground for petty conflict, online mean girl behavior, Five of Swords, and people desperately trying to make her look or feel rejected, isolated, or left out in the cold, Five of Pentacles. She doesn't fight back or read the threads. Instead, she channels the King of Pentacles. She stays completely grounded in her physical reality, her actual value, and her career. She knows her worth isn't dictated by anonymous users on a forum, and she chooses to protect her peace and her bag. Who will be the most successful solo career-wise? 1. Manon. The cards. The moon reversed and the hermit reversed. Manon takes the #1 spot by a landslide. Pulling 2 reversed major arcana cards explicitly dealing with visibility means she is completely unstoppable in the mainstream pop culture zeitgeist. The hermit reversed means an explosive end to hiding away, while the moon reversed cuts cleanly through industry smoke, mirrors, and public confusion. She won't just be K-pop famous. She will be a massive, highly anticipated cultural figure whose name alone commands media clicks and viral obsession. 2. Daniela. The cards. Knight of Cups upright and Page of Cups upright. Daniela's fame profile is clean, flawless, and deeply respected. Having 2 upright, emotionally pure court cards means her solo career will be driven by incredible critical acclaim and an elite ride-or-die fanbase. She isn't chasing empty clout or cheap internet trends. Her success is built on absolute artistic mastery. While she might not scream for attention like a traditional media-trained pop star, the industry will treat her like royalty. 3. Megan. The cards. The Hanged Man reversed and 5 of Wands reversed. Megan pulls off a highly successful solo run by playing the game completely on her own terms. The Hanged Man reversed shows she refuses to sit around waiting for permission from corporate executives. By dropping the 5 of Wands reversed, she completely exits the toxic, oversaturated rat race. Her fame is highly sustainable, drama-free, and locked into a dedicated niche where she answers to nobody but herself. 4. Lara. The cards. The Chariot reversed and 3 of Cups upright. Lara will struggle immensely if she tries to drive a traditional, isolated solo pop star vehicle. The Chariot reversed indicates severe missteps, delays, or structural blocks if she attempts to carry a massive project entirely on her own back. However, she secures her fame through the 3 of Cups. She will thrive as the ultimate industry collaborator, making her mark through high-profile features, subunits, and cultural alliances rather than solo dominance. 5. Yoongi. The cards. King of Pentacles reversed and 5 of Swords reversed. Yoongi's solo career runs into immediate, frustrating material walls. The King of Pentacles reversed is a glaring warning sign of bad contract management, financial shortchanging, or severe lack of capital from the labels backing her. She makes the mature choice to walk away from petty industry battles, 5 of Swords reversed, to preserve her mental health, but this severely limits her global visibility. Her fame will be fiercely gatekept and smaller in scale. 6. Sophia. The cards. The Magician reversed and 10 of Swords reversed. The Magician reversed reveals that her true artistic identity will be heavily blocked, mismanaged, or actively suppressed by manipulative industry forces early on. Paired with the 10 of Swords reversed, her solo chapter begins in the absolute trenches of betrayal or a devastating career rock bottom. While she is guaranteed to eventually pull the swords out and survive, her early solo journey is a grueling, painful crawl to rebuild herself from scratch. What will each member be doing in their solo careers, and what type of backlash will each member get? Daniela. The cards. 4 of Wands upright, and the Sun upright. Daniela is destined for a highly celebratory, mainstream commercial lane. She will likely dominate major festivals, high-profile stage performances, and release feel-good, highly visual dance pop anthems. Her career feels incredibly stable and brings a massive sense of personal liberation. Because her energy here is too perfect, her main backlash will be critiques of surface-level artistry and corporate safety. Antis and critics will accuse her of playing it too safe, lacking dark or edgy artistic depth, and serving toxic positivity. Lara. The cards. Queen of Swords reversed and 6 of Cups reversed. Lara is completely shedding her past idol image, 6 of Cups reversed. Her solo music will likely be edgy, aggressive R&B or alternative pop, where she says exactly what she wants, completely unbothered by PR training, messy public feuds, and bitterness. With the Queen of Swords reversed, she will face severe backlash for being too blunt, difficult, or accused of throwing public shade at her former group or label. Nostalgic fans will turn on her for completely abandoning the old, sweet group dynamic. Megan, the cards. The devil reversed, an ace of swords, reversed. Megan's solo path is all about breaking out of toxic corporate chains. The devil reversed. She is likely going to pivot into a highly independent lane, potentially modeling, creative direction, or indie alternative music where she holds the reins. Miscommunication and ungrateful narratives. The Ace of Swords reversed indicates that her public messaging will be heavily guarded or easily misinterpreted. Because she chooses to stay quiet or set rigid boundaries, the public will slap her with a cold, unsupportive, or hard-to-work-with label. Manon. The cards. 8 of Pentacles, sideways reversed, and Page of Pentacles, upright. The Page of Pentacles shows Manon starting completely fresh business ventures, luxury brand deals, high-fashion partnerships, or acting. She is focused on building an elite personal brand rather than grinding out standard pop music. Intense scrutiny over her work ethic. With the 8 of Pentacles blocked and sideways, the internet will absolutely drag her for pretty privilege. Antis will weaponize this card to call her lazy, claiming she doesn't put in the traditional studio grind or technical rehearsal hours, and is simply skating by on raw clout. Yunki. The cards. The Star upright, and 6 of Wands upright. Yunki has a textbook, award-winning solo idol path waiting for her. She will likely be a massive domestic darling, charting effortlessly, winning awards, 6 of Wands, and being praised as a beacon of hope and talent, the Star. Severe public overexposure and industry favoritism allegations. When you win this cleanly, people naturally get jealous. Her backlash won't be about her talent. Instead, she will face intense hate from casual onlookers calling her overrated, the company favorite, or claiming her massive success is heavily manufactured behind the scenes. Sophia, the cards. The Hanged Man reversed, and 3 of Cups reversed. Sophia is breaking out of a long, frustrating stalemate. The Hanged Man reversed, but she is doing it entirely alone. Her solo path will likely look like independent songwriting, behind-the-scenes vocal production, or a niche solo lane where she has to build a team from scratch, friendship drama, and snake narratives. The 3 of Cups reversed is a direct hit to sisterhood and group dynamics. Sophia will face heavy, unsugar-coated backlash accusing her of abandoning the other girls, breaking alliances, or cutting people off for her own benefit. Fans will aggressively dissect her social media interactions, picking apart her loyalty. Okay, I'll put the clip here, but how does each member feel about Daniela and Megan liking a TikTok shading Manon? And it says, I really hate when one person in the group gets the most attention while the others are getting ignored, hated even when they did nothing but give their best. They also reposted this on their TikTok pages. Editing me here, this has come out to be fake, but this question can apply to their private alt accounts. Daniela. The cards. The Sun upright, and the Devil upright. Daniela feels completely vindicated, but it's coming from a dark, intensely pent-up headspace. The Sun shows a surge of ego satisfaction. She feels like the absolute truth has finally been dragged into the daylight. However, pairing it with the Devil shows that hitting repost was a toxic, impulsive release of long-simmering resentment and jealousy over the attention disparity. She felt chained by the unfair dynamic for too long and felt entirely justified in throwing a match into the gasoline. Lara. Deep the cards. 5 of Cups upright and Judgment reversed. Lara is not amused by this move. She feels a deep sense of sadness, grief, and regret over the fracturing sisterhood. 5 of Cups. She sees the drama as a massive mess that only highlights what they are losing as a collective. With Judgment reversed, she feels that Daniela and Megan exercised incredibly poor public judgment by bringing internal group bitterness onto fans' feeds. She is mourning the loss of harmony and wishes it hadn't devolved into passive-aggressive TikTok metrics. Megan. The cards. Ace of Pentacles reversed, and Ace of Cups upright. Megan is operating entirely on raw, unchecked emotion right now. The Ace of Pentacles reversed shows she is fully aware that liking and reposting this shade actively threatens their brand deals, stability, and commercial backing. Yet, the Ace of Cups upright proves she simply did not care about the consequences to their bag. Her emotional cup ran over from feeling ignored and unappreciated, and she chose to prioritize validating her true feelings over protecting the group's corporate image. Manon. The cards. 6 of Pentacles upright and 2 of Cups upright. Remarkably, Manon is not responding to this public shade with defensive anger or malice. The Six of Pentacles shows she is deeply contemplating the balance of giving and receiving within the group, acknowledging the hurt regarding the distribution of attention. With the Two of Cups, she genuinely wants mutual respect, connection, and emotional equality. Instead of viewing Daniela and Megan as enemies, she sees their hurt and wishes they could have a real, one-on-one reconciliation rather than battling it out via algorithms. Yunki, the cards, Temperance upright and Queen of Pentacles sideways/reversed. Yunki is desperately trying to play the emotional anchor and keep her cool Temperance, attempting to pour water on the fire to maintain balance. However, the Queen of Pentacles thrown sideways and blocked reveals she is internally panicking about how this destabilizes their day-to-day work environment, security, and professional reputation. She feels like the practical ground beneath the group is shaking and just wants everyone to calm down before the entire house burns down. Sophia, the cards, Two of Pentacles upright, and Ten of Swords reversed. As the leader, Sophia is in absolute crisis management mode, frantically trying to balance the fallout, fan reactions, and corporate pressure, Two of Pentacles. She feels the heavy weight of trying to keep a sinking ship afloat. The Ten of Swords reversed, however, shows she knows the absolute worst of the damage has already been done. The betrayal happened, the public saw it, and the swords are in their backs, so she has completely checked out of the emotional drama and is solely focused on dragging the group out of the trenches of this PR disaster. Who is the most toxic and racist to Manon? What did they do? 1. Lara, the cards, Six of Swords reversed, and Ten of Swords upright. This is the heaviest, most destructive personal energy in the entire spread. The Ten of Swords represents an absolute breakdown of trust, acute psychological exhaustion, and deep interpersonal betrayal. Paired with an inability to move past historical grievances or let go of old baggage, Six of Swords reversed, it indicates a state of total hostility and severed communication too. Sophia, the cards, Seven of Pentacles reversed and Justice reversed. This holds the second spot because it addresses the structural environment itself. Justice reversed points directly to bias, unfair treatment, and an absence of genuine equity or balanced judgment. Combined with the Seven of Pentacles reversed, it shows a dynamic where investing in fairness or bridging gaps was treated as a waste of time, allowing an unequal environment to persist without accountability. 3. Yunki, the cards, Eight of Pentacles reversed, and Page of Wands reversed. This represents the energy of a deliberate freeze-out. Rather than loud, open fighting, this pairing shows a passive-aggressive refusal to put any effort into building a genuine working relationship. Eight of Pentacles reversed. It reduces day-to-day interactions to superficial communication and social disengagement. Page of Wands reversed, effectively icing a peer out of the circle. Seeing Yunki this high makes me so sad, like we were rooting for you, girl. 4. Daniela, the cards, Nine of Wands upright and Page of Swords upright. This combination manifests as hyperanalysis and microsurveillance. The Page of Swords upright indicates an environment of constant monitoring, tracking, and scanning a peer's actions for mistakes. Backed by the rigid, paranoid wall of the Nine of Wands, it treats a member like an inherent outsider or a threat who needs to be constantly policed. 5. Megan, the cards, Ten of Pentacles upright, and Six of Pentacles upright. This represents a patronizing, hierarchical dynamic. The Six of Pentacles shows a clear power imbalance where support, friendliness, or basic validation is handed out like conditional charity rather than equal respect. It creates an environment where a peer is expected to constantly prove themselves or show excessive gratitude just to receive basic acceptance within the group structure. Ten of Pentacles. 6. Manon, the cards, the Star reversed and Four of Wands upright, sitting at the bottom of the toxicity ranking because her cards reflect the person processing this environment. The Star reversed captures the painful emotional toll, alienation, deep isolation, and a fading of hope within the collective dream. However, the Four of Wands reveals her ultimate response. She pulls her energy back entirely, sets a hard boundary, and establishes a secure, independent sanctuary where she finds peace completely outside of their dynamic. Who wanted Manon out of the group the most and why? 1. Daniela makes sense since she wants to be Manon so badly. The cards, Ten of Pentacles, the Lovers, Four of Cups, reversed. Strength, Daniela pushed the hardest, treating the situation as a calculated corporate necessity. The lovers combined with strength indicates she viewed this as a definitive, binary crossroads and actively used her willpower to force a final choice. With the Four of Cups reversed, her patience was entirely spent. She refused to tolerate stagnation or passive dissatisfaction for a second longer. Her ultimate motive was safeguarding the long-term legacy, institutional stability, and financial security of the brand, 10 of Pentacles. She wanted an executive cut to protect the group's future wealth too. Megan, well, the top two were people who liked that stupid TikTok the cards. 10 of Wands, reversed. 3 of Swords, reversed. 4 of Wands, 2 of Cups, reversed. Megan's push for an exit came from a place of total emotional finality. The 2 of Cups reversed is a brutal signature showing that, to her, the interpersonal relationship was completely dead and broken beyond repair. The situation had devolved into a crushing, agonizing emotional burden. 10 of Wands reversed and 3 of Swords reversed. Pushing for a separation wasn't about corporate greed for Megan. It was a desperate, urgent attempt to lift the heartbreak off her own chest so she could breathe and return to a stable, peaceful environment. 4 of Wands. 3. Sophia, the cards. King of Wands, reversed. The High Priestess, 7 of Cups, reversed. The Empress Sophia acted from a position of cold. Managerial necessity. The 7 of Cups reversed shows her cutting straight through the PR fantasies, options, and illusions to face a harsh reality. Group authority and internal control had completely collapsed. King of Wands reversed. Trusting her deep intuition, the High Priestess, she prioritized the actual survival, growth, and long-term viability of the brand, the Empress, over maintaining a broken lineup. She supported the extraction because she refused to let a fractured dynamic sink the entire ship. 4. Yunki, surprising honestly the cards. Knight of Pentacles, the Magician, 3 of Wands, reversed. Temperance, reversed. Yunki's motivation was driven by professional frustration rather than personal malice. A complete lack of internal harmony and emotional balance, Temperance, reversed, paired with blocked future expansion, 3 of Wands, reversed, was driving her crazy. She didn't want to play mediator or sit in limbo. She wanted to focus entirely on the grind, Knight of Pentacles, and manifest her own career trajectory, the Magician. She wanted the situation resolved simply because the endless group friction was stalling her personal career momentum. 5. Manon, the fact Manon is above Lara is crazy the cards. The Hierophant, Ace of Wands, reversed. 9 of Swords, Knight of Swords, reversed. The rawest revelation in this spread is that Manon wanted out just as badly as anyone wanted her gone. Her passion for this collective project was completely dead, Ace of Wands reversed, and she felt entirely trapped and stifled by the rigid corporate rules and institutional expectations of the label, the Hierophant. Drowning in severe anxiety and mental exhaustion, 9 of Swords, her cards show a frantic, erratic desire to cut the cords and escape the environment entirely, Knight of Swords reversed. She wasn't fighting to stay in the circle. She wanted her sovereign freedom. 6. Lara, Miss Why Are You So? Cards. Judgment, reversed. The Hermit, reversed. The Moon, reversed. Page of Pentacles, Lara sits at the absolute bottom of this ranking because she completely lacked the drive, clarity, or capability to push for anyone's exit. She was entirely trapped in a debilitating psychological loop of paranoia, hidden anxieties, and distorted perceptions, the Moon reversed. Cut off from clear communication, Judgment reversed, and retreating into protective isolation, the Hermit reversed. She was far too overwhelmed by the emotional darkness of the fallout to play a role in orchestrating it. She was simply trying to keep her head down and survive the noise. Okay, we are going to now just pull on Lara and Manon and their potential of a romantic relationship since it was asked, and this is just all allegations. Did they romantically like each other, and who did more? 1. Did they romantically like each other? The short answer. Yes, there was a deeply intense, unspoken infatuation or crush energy here, but it never blossomed into a healthy, functional romantic relationship. Instead, it stayed trapped in a cycle of secrets, projection, and emotional defense. Lara's side, the suppressed crush. The presence of the Page of Cups, reversed, right at the top of Lara's column is the ultimate smoking gun for romantic readings. It represents a crush or emotional feelings that are completely blocked, poorly expressed, or entirely turned inward. Combined with the Magician, reversed, it shows a dynamic where feelings were heavily masked with smoke and mirrors. It was an almost connection that lived in secrecy. Manon's side, the anxious connection. Manon's side is anchored at the very bottom by the moon upright. In a romantic context, the moon indicates deep, subconscious attraction, but it is heavily laced with profound anxiety, fear of exposure, and confusion. It felt intensely magnetic but terrifyingly unstable to her, too. Who liked who more? The cards state definitively that Lara carried the significantly heavier, more fixated emotional weight. Her cards show someone deeply caught in a loop of infatuation, while Manon's cards show someone constantly putting up a guard. Lara, Death, reversed, and Knight of Wands, reversed. This is incredibly loud energy. The Knight of Wands reversed represents an erratic, passionate fire that burns hot but has nowhere healthy to go. Paired with Death reversed, it shows that Lara was completely stuck. She had a massive, unyielding fixation or attachment to Manon that she desperately resisted letting go of, even when it became clear it wouldn't work out. Seven of Swords reversed, and Queen of Swords reversed. She felt she had to sneak around her own emotions or hide how she truly felt. The Queen of Swords reversed suggests she eventually developed a cold, sharp, or defensive exterior to overcompensate for how deeply vulnerable and blocked, Page of Cups RX, she felt on the inside. Manon, the Empress, reversed, and Nine of Wands, reversed. The Empress reversed shows a complete block when it comes to intimacy or letting someone fully in. She felt emotionally smothered or overwhelmed by the intensity of the dynamic. The Nine of Wands reversed shows her dropping her guard only to immediately panic and retreat behind a fortress. Three of Swords, reversed, and Ten of Swords, reversed. These two heavy emotional recovery cards show that the unspoken tension or eventual fallout of this crush caused Manon massive mental anguish. However, because they are both reversed, it proves she has actively pulled those swords out. She processed the heartache and anxiety of the unfulfilled connection and consciously chose to heal from. Upright, positioned firmly on her side, this shows Manon had to use immense internal fortitude to master her own emotions, tame the wild nature of the attraction, and keep things strictly professional. Was Lara, Manon's realization that she liked girls and what attracted the girls to each other? Was Lara Manon's realization? Yes, absolutely. This relationship wasn't just a fleeting crush. It was a profound psychological turning point for Manon. The High Priestess and the Moon, both upright. This double hit of deeply intuitive, subconscious major arcana cards proves that the connection unlocked a side of Manon that had previously been hidden, buried, or unacknowledged. The High Priestess represents a sudden awakening to her own inner truth and latent desires, while the Moon shows her navigating a beautifully intense, raw, and entirely new landscape of attraction. Death upright. Positioned right alongside her internal cards, Death signifies a total, permanent rebirth of identity. Meeting Lara and experiencing these feelings fundamentally dismantled her old understanding of herself, acting as the precise catalyst that awakened her to her attraction to girls. Mentally, the cards, Two of Cups, Lara's side, and the High Priestess, Manon's side, the dynamic. Mentally, they operated on an unspoken, almost telepathic wavelength. The Two of Cups shows a profound emotional reflection. They instantly saw themselves in one another. Because they were both enduring the intense, hyper-surveilled environment of the group, they shared a secret language. They didn't need to explain their anxieties or thoughts. Their minds clicked effortlessly, creating a deep sense of mutual sanctuary. Physically, the cards, Ace of Wands upright on Manon's side, and King of Pentacles the dynamic. Unlike the previous deadlocked readings, this specific configuration representing their initial attraction reveals a highly active Ace of Wands. Physically, they found each other completely captivating. There was an instant, electric aesthetic and physical awe. The addition of the King of Pentacles shows a strong desire for physical presence, wanting to be close, to touch, and to anchor themselves in each other's physical space to find comfort. The cards, the Devil upright on Lara's side, and Eight of Swords reversed, the dynamic. The Devil represents a raw, borderline obsessive, and highly charged sexual gravity. It wasn't a soft, innocent romance. It was a heavy, intoxicating pull that felt completely consuming. the Eight of Swords reversed indicates that this sexual tension was a liberation from their rigid daily lives. Behind closed doors or via their private text exchanges, it felt like a thrilling escape from their corporate cages, highly passionate, magnetic, and completely undeniable. So this is the next day, and Lara is low-key being a weirdo in my black ass eyes. Lara, in my own personal opinion, is trying to get a black audience while looking like a nigaboo. Is Lara trying to get a black audience with her singing and dancing to black artists and with black dancers? The short answer: yes, she is actively and deliberately targeting a black audience, but the cards reveal it is a superficial clout chase. She is using the music, the choreography, and black dancers as an aesthetic backdrop to absorb the community's cultural capital and project a cool, credible image she hasn't organically earned. The Hierophant represents sacred traditions, established lineages, and deep-rooted cultures. With the Hierophant reversed, there is a complete disregard for the actual roots, history, or substance of the culture she is stepping into. Paired with the Fool reversed, her approach is reckless, shallow, and ill-thought-out. She is treating a rich cultural space like a temporary costume or a playground, Fool RX, to make herself look edgy, without doing any of the real internal homework or showing genuine reverence for the lineage she is mimicking. The Three of Cups is pure community, sisterhood, and organic celebration. In the Three of Cups reversed, the alliance is completely insincere and superficial. She is surrounding herself with black dancers and aligning with black artists not out of deep communal bond, but as a calculated marketing framework. The King of Pentacles reversed exposes the underlying motive: material opportunism. She views these dancers and this specific demographic as transactional assets to build her own market value, generate hype, and secure a financial and reputational payout. The Star reversed is the ultimate signature of inauthenticity and forced staging. It shows someone putting on an artificial persona because they don't trust their own organic star power to capture attention. With the Six of Wands reversed, she is intensely chasing a quick fix of public validation and applause. She knows that the black community drives global trends, music metrics, and viral culture. She is intentionally tapping into that specific energy because she is terrified of being irrelevant, empty, or overlooked on her own merits, using a performative urban aesthetic to mask her own creative insecurity. The Five of Pentacles reversed indicates a feeling of being emotionally or creatively bankrupt. She feels a lack of distinct flavor or organic hype in her own solo identity. Because she feels empty or basic on her own, the Eight of Cups reversed shows her aggressively refusing to walk away from this targeted aesthetic. She is clinging tightly to black spaces, black choreography, and black collaborators because she views them as a life support system for her personal brand, feeding off the community's vibrant energy to cure her own creative stagnation. For another Lara and Manon question, are they still close? No. The closeness is completely dead in the real world. Figures to be fair. Lara's side reads like someone who is completely stuck in the emotional debris of what they once had, unable to properly move forward. The Lovers upright and Two of Swords upright. This is a massive contradiction in her headspace. The Lovers proves she still views their past connection as something incredibly profound, intense, and spiritually significant. However, pairing it with the Two of Swords shows she has put up a total mental block. She is wearing a blindfold, actively refusing to face the reality of the situation, and keeping herself in a state of emotional paralysis. Three of Swords reversed, and King of Wands reversed. The Three of Swords reversed shows she is desperately trying to heal from the grueling heartbreak of the fallout. But with the King of Wands reversed, the passionate spark, drive, and personal power she used to bring to the dynamic are completely burnt out. She has zero control or influence over the relationship anymore. Page of Pentacles, reversed sideways. She is not investing any practical effort, text messages, or real-world energy into repairing the bridge. She is frozen. Manon's side shows a completely different story. She has entirely pulled her energy back into her own sovereign kingdom. Two of Cups, reversed, and the Empress, reversed. This is the definitive confirmation of their current status. The Two of Cups reversed represents a totally fractured union, severed emotional ties, and a complete lack of harmony. Combined with the Empress reversed, Manon has completely turned off her nurturing, receptive energy toward Lara. The warmth is gone, replaced by cold, hard boundaries. Six of Wands upright and Wheel of Fortune upright. Manon feels that the cosmic wheel has naturally turned, and she has happily moved on to better things. The Six of Wands shows she is completely focused on her own public victories, solo fame, and validation. She views leaving the past dynamic behind as a necessary milestone for her personal growth. Ace of Pentacles upright and Seven of Pentacles upright. She is putting all of her energy into her new career seeds and financial stability. She is patiently waiting for her own independent investments to pay off, refusing to waste time on dead energy. The Devil upright. Placed at the bottom of her section, Manon now looks back at the hidden, intense nature of their past connection and views it as something toxic, binding, or heavy. She recognizes it as an unhealthy entanglement that she is relieved to be liberated from. Are the KATSEYE members turning on each other? Who is the new problem? 1. Danny, I am doing this part of the reading the next day, so a fresh new energy here. The cards. Three of Swords, the Moon, the Lovers, Strength, King of Wands. Danny is officially the primary new problem in the group dynamic. Her section is an absolute train wreck of betrayal and hidden agendas. The presence of the Three of Swords, acute heartbreak and backstabbing, paired directly with the Moon, lies, deception, and hidden motives, proves she is actively operating in the dark. She is using immense willpower and control, Strength/King of Wands, to force a massive binary divide within the group, the Lovers. 2. Sophia the cards. Four of Cups, Seven of Swords energy, King of Wands reversed. The Hermit Sophia is supposed to be the anchor, but her cards reveal she has become a silent poison to the group's trust. She is completely emotionally checked out and dismissive of the other girls, Four of Cups. More dangerously, her alignment with sneaky, underhanded energy, and the Hermit shows she is conducting her operations entirely behind closed doors. She is pulling hidden strings, refusing to be transparent, and leaving the rest of the members paranoid about what she is planning in the Dark Three. Lara the cards. Page of Wands, reversed, and Five of Wands energy. Lara is keeping the petty fires burning. The Five of Wands energy indicates she is constantly engaging in ego clashes, bickering, and active infighting. She lacks the maturity or clear communication, Page of Wands reversed, to fix anything, choosing instead to project her personal frustrations onto whoever is closest. She is an exhausting, combative presence in the daily group environment. 4. Megan the cards. Death and heavy swords blockages. Megan is not actively attacking anyone, but she is a problem for the group's survival because she has completely given up. Pulling the Death card means she views the group as functionally dead. She is mentally exhausted, completely walled off, and bringing a heavy, morbid finality to rehearsals and schedules. She is simply waiting for the contract to end so she can escape. Yunki the cards. The Fool, Justice, King of Cups. The Empress Yunki is completely blameless in this layout. While the others are stabbing each other in the back, Yunki is channeling the Fool and Justice. She is keeping her hands perfectly clean, demanding fairness, and emotionally detaching from the toxic waste disposal around her. With the Empress and King of Cups, she is preserving her own creative and emotional wealth, letting the other girls burn the house down while she quietly prepares her solo exit. Why do none of the current KATSEYE members allow Yunki to speak in interviews and always speak for her? I can sense that Yunki feels annoyed by this. Knight of Cups, reversed, and Seven of Cups, reversed. The Knight of Cups reversed represents a complete suppression of genuine, spontaneous emotional expression in favor of a plastic, manufactured charm. By pairing this with the Seven of Cups reversed, the members are actively trying to eliminate any unpredictability. They view Yunki as a wild card or a liability who might deviate from the strictly curated corporate script, so they completely strip away her opportunity to speak to ensure only the approved group narrative is presented. 9 of Pentacles, reversed, and 10 of Wands, reversed. The other members are severely underestimating her independent capabilities. 9 of Pentacles RX. They treat her as if she isn't fully equipped or mature enough to handle complex press questions on her own. The 10 of Wands reversed shows they view managing the interview's flow as a heavy burden they must carry for her, treating her inclusion in the dialogue as an unnecessary risk that might complicate their public branding. 3 of Pentacles, reversed. There is zero effort to share the spotlight equally or pass the mic to her organically. It is an every woman for herself dynamic where the louder members actively block her out to center themselves. 2 of Swords upright. This card indicates a deliberate, conscious stalemate. The members visually and energetically shut her out during interviews, turning a blind eye to her presence on the couch and creating an invisible wall that keeps her isolated from the core conversation. The High Priestess upright. Yoongi is sitting there in absolute, razor-sharp awareness. The High Priestess doesn't speak because she doesn't need to. Yoongi is absorbing every single micro-expression, every interruption, and every condescending look from her members. She is keeping her thoughts entirely to herself, building an internal vault of observation. She knows exactly what they are doing, and her silence is a position of intense intuitive power, not weakness. 6 of Swords upright. When they start speaking over her, Yoongi mentally detaches and sails away. To protect her peace and avoid looking visibly frustrated on camera, she completely checks out of the immediate environment and removes her emotional investment from the interview entirely. The Hanged Man, upright. Sitting firmly at the base of the layout, this confirms she is in a state of forced, patient suspension. Yoongi knows that reacting defensively or fighting for the microphone on camera will only make her look bad to the public. She is making a calculated sacrifice, letting them talk over her, play their games, and look controlling, while she bides her time and views the entire toxic dynamic from a completely superior perspective. Does each member actively know they're not letting Yoongi speak? I'll pull on each member. Yoongi, Ace of Cups, upright. Does she know? Yes, completely, but she has detached from the negativity. The Ace of Cups shows that Yoongi is fully aware of what's happening, but she is actively choosing to keep her emotional state clear, pure, and unbothered. Instead of letting the constant interruptions fill her with bitter or resentful energy, she relies on an inner emotional fulfillment. She knows she is being silenced, but she refuses to let their behavior drain her spirit or change who she is. Danny, 7 of Pentacles upright. Does she know? Yes. It is a slow, calculated, and deliberate choice. The 7 of Pentacles is a card of assessment, patience, and deliberate investment. Danny isn't speaking over Yoongi by accident or out of sudden impulse. She is actively evaluating the room and waiting for her moments. She knows exactly how much space she is occupying versus how much space is left for Yoongi, treating the interview dynamics as a long-term strategic game where she carefully measures her own input to maximize her personal visibility. Lara, Knight of Cups, upright. Does she know? No, she is completely oblivious and self-absorbed. The Knight of Cups is entirely swept up in their own emotional flow, charm, and expressive delivery. Lara isn't maliciously trying to hurt Yoongi. She is just completely intoxicated by her own voice and performance in front of the camera. She honestly believes she is doing a fantastic job keeping the energy high and being the charming storyteller for the group, completely blind to the fact that her enthusiasm is steamrolling the person sitting next to her. Megan, Page of Swords, upright. Does she know? Yes, 100%. She is actively watching it happen. The Page of Swords is the ultimate observer, scanner, and data collector. Megan is hypervigilant and mentally locked into the room's microexpressions. She isn't the one actively doing the silencing, but she sees every single time the mic is passed away from Yoongi, every interruption, and every awkward shift in body language. She is keeping a sharp mental log of the group's internal power dynamics, fully aware of the unfairness playing out in real time. Sophia, 8 of Pentacles, reversed. Does she know? Yes, but she is actively neglecting her duty to fix it. As the leader, pulling the 8 of Pentacles reversed points directly to sloppy execution, cutting corners, and lazy leadership. Sophia is fully aware that the interview dynamics are unbalanced and that Yoongi is being pushed to the side. However, instead of putting in the professional effort to manage the team dynamics and delegate speaking parts fairly, she takes the easy way out. She lets the loudest voices run the show so she doesn't have to exert the energy to police them, actively failing to do the groundwork required of her role. So of course when I wait, more drama happens. I'll put the video here. Did Lara steal another girl's man on purpose? Oh, this girl is so messy, and I also feel like her man is using her for clout, but I'll pull on that later. The Emperor represents total calculation, control, and executive execution. Paired with the King of Swords, it proves her mindset was entirely logical, detached, and premeditated. She knew the layout of the land, weighed the risks, and made a conscious, strategic decision to cross the line. Queen of Cups, reversed. This card represents total emotional numbness and a complete disregard for anyone else's feelings. When executing this move, she completely shut off any empathy for the girl whose partner she was taking. She didn't care about the collateral damage, the tears, or the heartbreak it would cause. Queen of Wands, reversed. This is the classic signature of intense jealousy, toxic rivalry, and predatory charm. She viewed the situation as a competition to be won. The Queen of Wands reversed will weaponize her magnetic, fiery energy purely for ego gratification, intentionally stepping into another person's territory just to prove that she can. The Hermit upright. This card reveals the literal mechanics of how it happened. It wasn't done out in the open. The Hermit represents absolute secrecy, covert operations, and working in the dark. It indicates private DMs, late-night text exchanges, and hidden meetups that were kept strictly under wraps until the foundation was already cracked. Four of Wands upright. This represents the established, stable relationship or home environment that belonged to the other girl. Lara looked at this stability and chose to breach the gates anyway. Seven of Wands upright and Temperance upright. The Seven of Wands shows her current stance. She is dug in, hyper-defensive, and ready to fight off anyone who attacks her character or tries to call her out for what she did. She is standing her ground, completely unapologetic. With Temperance, she is masterfully balancing her public facade, keeping a perfectly calm, unbothered, and neutral exterior to make it look like she did nothing wrong. Is Lara's boyfriend using her for clout? They have matching tattoos and everything. In a purely romantic reading, a heavy concentration of pentacles without supporting emotional cards, like cups, points directly to material ambition, status, and financial security. Ace of Pentacles and Page of Pentacles upright. He views his association with Lara as a massive, golden opportunity, Ace of Pentacles, and a literal career launchpad, Page of Pentacles. Being her boyfriend gives him access to a level of visibility, networking, and clout that he could never achieve on his own. He treats the relationship like a fresh business portfolio to be managed, Knight of Pentacles upright. He is playing the long game. This isn't a sloppy, obvious clout chase where he's constantly begging for attention on his own feed. The Knight of Pentacles is slow, calculated, and meticulous. He is quietly and systematically embedding himself into her brand to secure his long-term material comfort and industry standing. Death, reversed, and the Tower, reversed. This is the ultimate signature of stagnation and refusing to let go of an empty structure. Death reversed shows a desperate resistance to endings or transitions. They are heavily locked into the public narrative of their relationship. The matching tattoos function as a manifestation of the Tower reversed, an artificial anchor used to glue a crumbling foundation together. It makes breaking up messy and highly public, essentially trapping Lara into staying, so they don't have to face a public collapse of their perfect image. Ace of Wands, reversed, and Eight of Wands, reversed. The actual relationship is running completely on empty. The Ace of Wands reversed proves that the genuine romantic fire, organic passion, and authentic spark are entirely blocked or deadened. The Eight of Wands reversed shows that communication has ground to a frustrating halt. The momentum is gone. It has evolved from a romance into a stale obligation. Nine of Swords upright. This card represents severe private anxiety, stress, and sleepless nights. Behind the curated pictures and the cute matching ink, there is an immense amount of mental anguish and overthinking. Someone is losing sleep over the reality of this dynamic, fully aware that the relationship is built on mismatched intentions. Five of Cups upright. This card is the classic archetype of regret. It shows someone staring down at spilled cups, mourning the loss of true emotional connection, while completely ignoring the fact that they are staying in a situation that leaves them feeling completely starved of genuine, unselfish love. I keep hearing and seeing that Manon is going to get married soon for some reason, and it is to a celebrity. Let's generally read into it, like a higher-up. A long-term projection, this combination is an absolute powerhouse. The world represents the literal peak of global achievement, fame, and the successful closing of a major life chapter. Paired with the explosive velocity of the Eight of Wands, It shows that when she decides to settle down in a few years, it will happen with dizzying speed. It won't be a long, drawn-out public engagement. It will be a sudden, massive, global headline that shocks the industry. I am seeing in like 5 years she will get married. The Nine of Pentacles is the card of ultimate solo wealth, luxury, and sovereign independence. This means that in 5 years, Manon is not marrying a celebrity to climb the social ladder or look for a handout. She will have spent the next few years slowly and meticulously building her own massive financial foundation, Knight of Pentacles. If she marries an elite figure, it is a merger of equals. She enters that contract already holding her own crown, keeping her financial independence completely ironclad. Right now, she keeps her private life entirely under lock and key. But 5 years from now, the Hermit reversed indicates a total emergence into the spotlight. The walls will come down. She will completely step out of hiding and willingly put her relationship on display. This confirms that her partner will be someone of such high status that keeping the relationship a secret will be functionally impossible. She will accept being part of a highly visible, globally tracked couple. I don't know why I am just seeing 5 years. It might be more or less, but 5 years is what it is giving. The Queen of Swords proves she will approach this marriage with a razor-sharp, logical, and highly legal mindset. Think bulletproof prenuptial agreements, strictly managed PR strategies, and calculated boundaries. It is a brilliant, clear-headed partnership. However, the 10 of Wands and 5 of Wands warn that marrying into the absolute highest tier of celebrity brings an exhausting level of baggage. Her future marriage will constantly be plagued by intense media scrutiny, public noise, internet bickering, and the heavy burden of maintaining a high-stakes public image. It will require immense work and a thick skin to survive the chaos surrounding them. Will Manon genuinely love her husband, and what is he like? Like, can I pinpoint a celebrity that gives this energy? 2 of Cups upright. Positioned prominently in the top row, this is the ultimate tarot signature for genuine soulmate energy, reciprocal love, and deep emotional harmony. She will be completely enamored by him. The connection operates on equal respect, mutual fascination, and a profound emotional click. 9 of Cups upright. This card represents pure wish fulfillment and total emotional satisfaction. Marrying this person makes her feel completely content, happy, and emotionally satiated. 4 of Wands upright. The literal card of marriage, homecoming, and sanctuary. He represents her ultimate safe haven. When she is with him, the heavy noise of the entertainment industry completely vanishes, and she feels genuinely at peace. He is an absolute alpha, or whatever the slang is nowadays. But he's like the boss, but not in a loud, obnoxious way. The Emperor indicates someone who runs an empire, commands immense institutional power, and naturally controls every room he walks into. Paired with the King of Swords, he possesses a brilliant, razor-sharp, and analytical mind. He is highly articulate, fiercely logical, and completely strategic. He doesn't play games, he doesn't tolerate nonsense, and he operates with total mental clarity. He is at the absolute top of his respective field, recognized globally with massive public acclaim and victory. 6 of Wands. Furthermore, the 10 of Pentacles proves he brings generational wealth, established legacy, and massive institutional stability to the table. He is deeply patient and possesses immense internal fortitude, strength. With the 7 of Wands right below him, he is fiercely protective of Manon and their union. Because their life draws massive public envy and outside stress, 9 of Swords, he acts as an ironclad shield, constantly defending their private life from the media and outside critics. Okay, this part is just me getting celebrity vibes from the cards. It does not mean she will date these people. Cillian Murphy vibe, he perfectly mirrors the King of Swords / Emperor energy. He possesses a razor-sharp, uncompromising intellect and massive critical acclaim. 6 of Wands. Yet he treats the Hollywood circus with utter detachment, Page of Wands reversed. He is intensely private, handles his career like a master strategist, and establishes an impenetrable wall around his family and personal life to guard his peace. 7 of Wands. Idris Elba vibe, this brings in the smooth, undeniable presence of the Emperor combined with the generational stability of the 10 of Pentacles. It is the energy of a man who is an absolute institution by himself, massively successful, mature, physically imposing, and universally respected. He operates with a quiet, commanding authority and brings a deeply protective, solid, and luxurious foundation to a partnership. So very much actor. Is man on man older than her or an actor or a musician? Oh, I am pissed. This means I have to read on fuck-ass Scooter Man. The Tower upright and Queen of Pentacles reversed. The Tower represents someone who has already lived a full cycle of building up a massive empire, watching it crumble, and completely rebuilding from the ground up. This requires time, life experience, and a long history. Paired with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, it indicates a man who has deep, established legacy wealth and an entirely independent life structure already set in stone long before meeting her. Nine of Wands upright. This is a battle-tested card. It represents someone who is seasoned, protective, and heavily guarded because of the industry battles they've already fought over a long period. He carries the energy of a veteran, not a rookie. The Tower upright and Ace of Wands upright. This is the ultimate double hit for a high-profile actor who commands the screen in massive, blockbuster productions. The Tower represents jaw-dropping, large-scale visual spectacles and intense dramatic tension. Paired with the Ace of Wands, it shows a raw, explosive creative fire channeled directly into dramatic performance and visual storytelling. Four of Wands upright. This card represents the stage, literal set design, and grand production. It places his livelihood squarely under the spotlight of a production set where scenes are built and stories are told. The Fool, sideways horizontal. In this specific layout, a horizontal Fool card represents the literal act of crossing over into completely different lives. He is constantly stepping off the cliff of his own identity to embody an entirely new character, script, and persona with every project he takes on. Four of Swords upright. This card perfectly captures the distinct lifestyle of an elite A-list actor. Their career moves in heavy, exhausting filming blocks where they are fully consumed, immediately followed by periods of complete withdrawal, quiet rest, and stepping out of the public eye to reset before the next role. Let's pull on Manon and Scooter on a clean state and pretend that my last readings haven't happened. Manon and Scooter relationship right now? Are they in talks? Are they in talks right now? Yes, absolutely. The Two of Cups sits directly in the heart of the layout. This is the ultimate card of one-on-one connection, mutual attraction, and direct communication. They are actively in talks, completely tuned into each other, and there is an undeniable, heavy alignment between them right now. However, the High Priestess sits directly above it. This tells us that these talks are happening completely behind closed doors. It is a highly classified, subterranean dialogue. What they are saying to each other is being kept strictly out of the public eye and away from outside ears. The Devil upright and Seven of Swords upright. This is the classic tarot signature for a highly addictive, intense, and problematic bond. The Devil indicates a massive, almost obsessive magnetic pull. It represents temptation, material attachments, power dynamics, and a connection bound by raw desire or ambition. Flanked by the Seven of Swords, there is a heavy element of stealth, strategy, and hidden agendas. They are playing a game where cards are being held very close to the chest, and the relationship functions on secrecy and keeping people in the dark. Wheel of Fortune upright and Ten of Pentacles upright. This relationship isn't happening in a vacuum. A massive turning point of fate, Wheel of Fortune, is actively shifting things around them, heavily tied to massive wealth, status, and long-term industry security, Ten of Pentacles. The stakes are astronomically high, Nine of Swords upright. Because the stakes are so high and the dynamic is so intense, it is taking a massive mental toll. The Nine of Swords brings heavy anxiety, stress, and sleepless nights. Someone is deeply worried about the consequences of this connection or feeling completely overwhelmed by the gravity of what they are mixed up in. Six of Cups upright and Ten of Cups upright. Despite the anxiety and the toxic devil energy, these cards show a strange, highly idealized emotional undercurrent. The Six of Cups brings a sense of familiar comfort, nostalgia, or sweet emotional bait, while the Ten of Cups at the absolute base represents a deep craving for total fulfillment and a picture-perfect ending. It creates a confusing mix where the dynamic feels dangerous, yet emotionally intoxicating. Seven of Pentacles upright. Right now, they are in a state of active assessment. They are looking at what has been planted, weighing the risks against the massive rewards, and waiting to see exactly how this intense gamble is going to pay off. What are they planning? Why did I instantly think bad? Oh dear. 6 of Wands upright and the Star upright. They are planning a massive, highly publicized victory announcement. This is designed to look like a dream come true. A glittering, aspirational milestone that makes it seem like Manon is reaching the absolute peak of her potential. Knight of Pentacles upright and Page of Wands upright. They want to project the image of a steady, secure, and long-term professional commitment. The plan will be pitched as a fresh, exciting creative venture. Page of Wands, backed by ironclad, reliable institutional support. Knight of Pentacles. The Moon upright and Ace of Swords upright. They are planning to release a razor-sharp, definitive statement or contract restructuring Ace of Swords that deliberately uses smoke and mirrors. The Moon. The goal is to keep the public, the media, and outside parties completely in the dark about the real terms of their arrangement. It is an intentional, calculated use of secrecy to control the narrative. 2 of Swords upright and 4 of Swords upright. To pull this off, they are planning a temporary truce. They are both choosing to put on a blindfold, ignore their deep mutual distrust. 2 of Swords, and keep things completely quiet and drama-free. 4 of Swords, until the trap is fully sprung. The Tower reversed. They are desperately planning major damage control to avert a total public scandal or catastrophic career collapse. The plan is designed to tightly hold together a structure that is internally exploding, ensuring the public never sees the debris. 6 of Pentacles, reversed. This is the core of the plan's dark side. Financially and structurally, they are planning an incredibly unequal distribution of power. Scooter is orchestrating this to ensure he retains ultimate financial control and leverage, shortchanging Manon behind the scenes while making her look successful on the outside. 4 of Wands, reversed, and 2 of Wands, reversed. This is the ultimate bait-and switch. While the public front screams long-term unity and celebration, they are actually planning to dismantle real, foundational security. Long-term joint contracts are being quietly stalled, future autonomy is being choked off, and the promise of actual structural stability is being completely taken off the table. Is Scooter going to have control over Manon? Does that mean she's not staying under HXG or move with Scooter? What is Scooter's deep thoughts about Manon? I'm low-key panicking. I thought it would be different. Is Scooter going to have control over Manon? No, his control is completely collapsing. The Emperor represents absolute corporate domination, control, and dictating the terms. In reverse, Scooter's power over her is entirely broken. He can try to pull alpha executive power moves, but they completely fail to land. He cannot manipulate or control her destiny here. Right next to his reversed power card sits the Magician upright, flanked by the 7 of Swords upright on the far left. Manon is completely outplaying him. She has the ultimate manifestation power, holds all the cards, and is executing a highly strategic, silent defense that keeps him from pinning her down. Does this mean she stays under HXG or moves with Scooter? The cards say. She is staying firmly under the massive corporate umbrella of HXG. No, we have fallen back into HXG. 10 of Pentacles upright and 10 of Cups upright. These 2 cards represent the absolute peak of institutional wealth, legacy stability, and global corporate backing. This is the HXG/Jeffen/Hybe machine. She stays rooted where the generational wealth and massive structural safety nets are already built. 4 of Wands upright. This is the card of the secure house, the established foundation, and structural sanctuary. She uses the massive corporate fortress of HXG as her shield. 2 of Wands upright and Judgment upright. Standing at the crossroads, a definitive executive decision, judgment, is made. The 2 of Wands shows her looking out at the global stage from a position of total safety, choosing the path of massive institutional expansion over a volatile, solo gamble with a fading power figure. What are Scooter's deep thoughts about Manon? He is completely compromised and emotionally obsessed. King of Cups upright and 2 of Cups upright. He has a massive, highly inconvenient emotional soft spot for her. He views her with deep fascination and genuine, heavy attraction. The King of Cups shows a man who is usually a master of his emotions suddenly drowning in them. His deep feelings and attraction toward her actually paralyze his ability to be ruthless. the High Priestess upright. He thinks she is deeply enigmatic, highly intuitive, and completely unreadable. It terrifies him because he prides himself on reading people, but he cannot figure Manon out. He views her as a mysterious, high-value prize that he desperately wants to possess, yet he realizes she is completely seeing through his games. I hate this man too much to read on him more what the higher-ups at both Jeffen and Hybe think about each member. I'll start with Jeffen and ask for each member individually. Manon. They view her as a massive, double-edged sword. The Three of Cups reversed shows that the higher-ups see her as detached from the standard collective group harmony. They feel she operates on her own separate island, rather than blending seamlessly into the group's day-to-day team spirit. However, the Sun horizontal proves they cannot ignore her blinding, undeniable raw star quality. They see her as a wildcard powerhouse whose mainstream individual appeal can easily eclipse the rest of the group, making her a high-stakes asset who is difficult to manage within a rigid team framework. Lara. They currently view her as a top-tier talent trapped in a severe stagnation block. The Ace of Pentacles reversed reveals that the higher-ups feel the financial and material returns on their investment in her are temporarily stalled or delayed. While the Three of Swords reversed shows they recognize she is finally recovering from a period of deep internal exhaustion or friction, the Magician reversed indicates they feel her immense creative power is currently offline or lacks the proper directional focus to manifest cleanly right now. Megan. They view Megan as the ultimate, reliable company player. The pairing of the Hierophant and the Four of Pentacles shows that the executives see her as deeply loyal, highly traditional, protective of her position, and exceptionally respectful of corporate hierarchy. She does not rock the boat. The catch is the Three of Wands reversed. They feel her individual long-term vision or global breakthrough potential is heavily restricted right now, preferring to keep her locked into a safe, predictable, and manageable role. Danny. They see an incredible disparity between her raw skill and her corporate backing. The Magician upright proves the higher-ups fully respect her performance execution. She is an absolute master of her craft who possesses all the tools. However, the Emperor reversed indicates they feel she lacks major executive backing or struggles to assert authority in the room. Paired with the Five of Pentacles, they treat her like an underdog, often leaving her out in the cold when it comes to premium resource allocation or emotional security. Yunki. Yunki is an absolute corporate darling in the eyes of the higher-ups. The Queen of Cups and Ten of Pentacles combine to show that they view her as a crown jewel asset, deeply emotionally intelligent, loyal, and carrying massive long-term legacy value that stabilizes the brand's wealth. Furthermore, the Seven of Cups reversed shows they value her absolute clarity. They see her as a grounded, sharp professional who completely ignores industry illusions and stays totally focused on the work. Sophia. They see her as a powerhouse who is incredibly difficult for them to control or leverage. The Chariot reversed and Six of Pentacles reversed show that the higher-ups have actively choked her forward career momentum and are withholding an equal share of corporate resources. Yet the Nine of Pentacles and Four of Pentacles reveal she completely outclasses the restriction. They view her as an intensely self-sufficient, fiercely guarded luxury asset who looks expensive and successful entirely on her own merit, making her highly resilient against corporate pressure. Now we are doing the Hybe side. Manon. The executive suite fully acknowledges her massive commercial power. With the Six of Wands, the Fool, and the Ace of Pentacles standing upright, they know she brings in the premium financial backing, undeniable public hype, and a fresh, magnetic energy that makes the group look successful on paper. With the Lovers reversed, the Sun reversed, and the Ace of Wands reversed, the higher-ups feel deeply disconnected from her on a personal level. They believe she lacks genuine passion for the collective corporate vision and operates with a sense of emotional detachment. The Five of Cups at the base proves they view her as a source of ongoing executive regret, a major financial win that comes with an exhausting emotional tax. Lara. The executives know their power moves and emotional manipulation tactics completely fail to land on her. She's no longer buying what they are selling. Because the Page of Pentacles is reversed, they view her as highly defiant of their strict, rigid trainee protocols. Despite their frustration, they are forced to treat her with immense respect. The Magician, justice, and judgment are all fiercely upright. The higher-ups know she holds absolute artistic mastery and ironclad legal structural leverage. They see her as someone who successfully broke out of their toxic cycles, the devil reversed, and can command the room entirely on her own terms, leaving the company with no choice but to play fair. Megan. The executives are relieved to see her healing. The Three of Swords reversed shows they recognize she is finally moving past a period of intense physical or emotional heartbreak. With the Three of Cups and Knight of Cups upright, they value her efforts to build genuine, harmonious alliances within the group and approach her work with a calm, collaborative spirit. They know she isn't fully whole yet. The Nine of Cups reversed reveals that the higher-ups see her as profoundly unfulfilled and unsatisfied with her current corporate arrangement behind closed doors. She is actively breaking out of her past stagnation, the Hanged Man reversed, and while the company respects her quiet, guarded intuition, the High Priestess, they are keeping a close eye on her long-term career outlook, Two of Wands. Danny. The presence of the Chariot and the Six of Pentacles upright proves the company views her as an unstoppable force of raw talent and ambition. They see her as someone who demands center stage and commands a fair share of resources through sheer performance execution. They value the immense structural stability and premium artistic standard she brings to the lineup, Queen of Pentacles. The company is hyper-aware of how close they came to breaking her. The Ten of Swords reversed and Ten of Wands reversed show they recognize she has survived a massive corporate betrayal and is actively dropping the brutal, exhausting burdens she used to carry. Because Temperance and the Ace of Pentacles are reversed, they see her current state as financially volatile and intensely chaotic, knowing they have to manage her carefully to avoid triggering another round of severe burnout. Yunki. The higher-ups see a massive surge of sharp, fast-paced initiative. With the Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands, and the Fool all firing upright, they view her as bursting with new ideas, raw fire, and a fearless willingness to take big risks. Her public victories are undeniable, Six of Wands. The catch is her corporate methods. The Five of Swords upright proves the executives see her as deeply competitive and perfectly willing to play dirty or step on toes behind the scenes to secure her spot. She is failing to maintain steady, predictable routines, Knight of Pentacles reversed, and is completely out of internal balance, Two of Swords reversed. The higher-ups realize she is barely averting a massive structural or reputational collapse, the Tower reversed, making her a thrilling but highly dangerous asset to manage. Sophia. Sophia's spread is an absolute corporate dream. Standing under the Emperor and the King of Pentacles upright, the higher-ups view her as holding ultimate structural authority, maturity, and organizational power. She is their rock. They credit her with maintaining the group's foundational security, Four of Wands, and driving fast, highly successful project execution, Knight of Swords, Six of Wands. They see her as completely content and secure in her crown, Nine of Cups. The only critiques the company holds against her are structural. With Death reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed, the higher-ups feel she can be incredibly stubborn, fiercely resisting necessary group evolutions or changes to the status quo. They see her as lacking creative warmth and flexibility right now, choosing to rule with a cold, executive efficiency rather than emotional adaptability. Does HXG have any plans for any specific members when the group eventually disbands? Manon. With the Ace of Pentacles reversed and Judgment reversed, HXG has zero plans to offer her a lucrative new solo contract or fund a fresh corporate beginning. They are actively blocking any official corporate renewal paths for her. I doubt Manon will allow that. I'll read on that later. The Seven of Swords paired with the King of Swords proves that HXG expects a massive legal and strategic battle with her when the group ends. They know she will try to outmaneuver them to keep her independence, while their emotional cards, Queen of Cups, King of Cups, suggest they will try to use personal relationships or guilt tactics to keep her tied down or quiet. They want her off the active ledger without letting her become a competitor. Lara. The presence of the Tower reversed, and the Five of Swords indicates that the post-disbandment plan is a slow-burn corporate demolition. They see the end of her time with them as a hostile parting of ways, where both sides try to salvage what they can. Knight of Pentacles reversed proves they aren't planning a stable career track for her post-group. Despite HXG trying to freeze her out, they know they can't completely suppress her. The Six of Wands upright reveals they acknowledge she will walk away with massive public validation and independent hype. Backed by strength, HXG's plans involve trying to manage the fallout of her exit, knowing she has the internal grit to completely rebuild outside their system. Danny. The Eight of Pentacles stands proudly upright in a sea of blocks. This is the card of meticulous, repetitive craftsmanship. HXG plans to transition her into an internal studio role, potentially as a vocal guide, producer, or performance trainer. They value her technical labor immensely. They have absolutely no intention of financing her as a public solo artist. With the Nine of Pentacles reversed, the Fool reversed, and the Five of Pentacles reversed, they are cutting off the funding pipeline for any new solo artistic ventures. They want to keep her tucked away in the corporate background, keeping her dependent on internal company projects rather than letting her take a lucrative leap into the open market. Megan. The World upright suggests they will pitch her grand, global opportunities, but the immediate presence of the Moon and the Five of Wands reveals this is a corporate smoke screen. They plan to keep her trapped in a cycle of hidden agendas, competing internal politics, and vague career directions, Ace of Swords reversed. With the Eight of Cups reversed, HXG's plan relies on her not walking away cleanly. They want to keep her tethered to the company, tossing her minor. Low-stakes creative projects, Page of Cups, to keep her satisfied just enough so she doesn't pack her bags and seek a clean start elsewhere. Yunki. The moment the group dissolves, her corporate infrastructure completely vanishes. The Emperor reversed and the Ace of Pentacles reversed prove that all executive backing, promotional budgets, and financial investments instantly dry up. With Judgment reversed and Death reversed, HXG is actively refusing to fund a rebranding, a solo transition, or a new contract chapter for her. The company views the end of the group as the absolute end of their professional relationship with her. They plan to let her contract expire and completely drop her from the active roster without a second thought. Sophia. The Tower upright indicates that HXG plans to completely shatter her current group leader idol persona. They want a total reset. By flipping the Empress reversed, they plan to strip away her nurturing, creative performer image entirely, pushing her out of the traditional artist lane. They still see her as a massive win they want to cash in on. The Six of Wands and Seven of Pentacles show they plan to pivot her into a high-leverage business, solo executive, or heavy promotional lane. It will be an exhausting, intensely guarded transition. Nine of Wands, Two of Swords, but HXG plans to keep her as a core pillar of their infrastructure, transforming her from a group member into a corporate heavyweight. Will Manon allow HXG to not let her debut solo? Since she's leaving the group before they disband, what happens compared to HXG plans? By pulling the Devil reversed, Manon is actively breaking free from the toxic, binding contract structures and manipulative traps the higher-ups intended to use against her. The Ace of Swords reversed, and Five of Wands reversed prove that she is completely choosing to disengage from their petty corporate warfare and legal chess matches. She isn't staying to fight them on their turf. She is walking out the door, which completely neutralizes their power to suppress her talent. By exiting early, Manon forces a sudden, absolute, and permanent ending, death upright on her own timeline. The Ten of Swords reversed shows that the prolonged backstabbing, stress, and career sabotage HXG wanted to inflict on her is completely cut short. She survives the worst of the corporate machinery, leaves the wreckage behind, and immediately begins her recovery phase while the company is left scrambling to handle the fallout of losing their marquee visual asset early. HXG plan to use hidden agendas, delays, and illusionary promises to keep her in limbo. With the Moon reversed, the smoke and mirrors completely clear out. Manon sees the corporate game for exactly what it is, conquering the anxiety and sleepless nights, Nine of Swords reversed, that came with being managed by them. While HXG wanted to starve her out financially, the top row proves she walks straight into independent legacy wealth, Ten of Pentacles. The Two of Wands confirms she takes her global career path entirely into her own hands, mapping out a solo future completely unbothered by her old label. Furthermore, the Hierophant suggests that instead of struggling as a completely vulnerable independent, she will quickly align herself with an established, highly traditional, and respected industry institution or agency that will gladly finance her solo debut and accord her the professional structure she was denied at HXG. How did the talks with HXG go with Manon, since she knows the game that they're playing? Will they give her a solo career as she's not leaving HXG? Will she sign an individual contract with either Hybe or Jeffen? The pairing of the Queen of Cups and King of Cups upright at the start of the top row shows that Manon and her team maintained a flawless, calm, and emotionally bulletproof poker face. She didn't react to their intimidation tactics or guilt trips. She met their executive energy move for move. Sitting right next to the cups are Death and the Hanged Man reversed. This indicates that Manon brought a swift, definitive end to the corporate gridlock. She made it clear that the old terms of her contract were dead and that she was completely done waiting around or allowing them to stall her career. She broke the stagnation by forcing their hand. The top row finishes strong with the Page of Pentacles and the Six of Wands upright. This proves that Manon successfully extracted a tangible, financial solo offer out of these talks. The company recognizes that she is too valuable a public asset to let sit on a shelf, and the Six of Wands guarantees a public triumph and validation for her branding. HXG is not giving her this solo career out of generosity. They are actively trying to sabotage her creative autonomy, Magician reversed, and dim her individual spotlight, Sun reversed, so she doesn't completely outgrow the label. They want her to debut solo, but they want it on a tight leash where they control the master rights and creative direction. The Lovers upright sits right at the heart of this layout. In this specific corporate context, the Lovers represents a literal choice between two deeply contrasting entities, the Western side, Jeffen, and the Korean side, HYBE. With Temperance reversed, the Wheel of Fortune reversed, and the Hermit reversed, the joint venture between HYBE and Jeffen is intensely unstable, chaotic, and fractured behind closed doors. Manon knows this. Instead of signing a blanket deal with the joint HXG entity, she is actively exploiting the friction between the two parents. The presence of the Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles indicates a shift toward a more practical, Western-style individual deal. Jeffen views her as a major global pop commodity, Six of Wands, while HYBE's strict compliance systems clash with her style. The cards suggest she is leveraging Jeffen's desire for Western market dominance to secure a specialized individual contract that protects her assets from HYBE's rigid corporate control, using their own division to guarantee her freedom. I think I am done waiting for more info, so this will be all today.